I'm Ed Gross, and this is Voices from Krypton, a collection of interviews focusing on the world of superheroes, with an emphasis on the Man of Steel himself, Superman. Speaking of which, back in 1940, just 2 years after the character had been created, Superman leaped, in a single bound, to the big screen in the first of a number of animated shorts from Max and Dave Fleischer. A total of 17 were produced in all, 9 from the Fleischers and the rest from famous studios. All starred Bud Collyer in their dual role of Clark Kent and Superman, and from a visual point of view, remains stunning. Taking a brief look back at those shorts, we've turned to veteran film and animation historian Leonard Maltin for his opinion on their continuing power and appeal.
The marvel of the Fleischer Superman cartoons, first, is that they did them at all. Secondly, Betty Boop cartoons, the Popeye cartoons, they're all wonderful, but they're all very cartoony. There's no effort to create any imitation of reality in them. They live in a cartoon world. The first time the Fleischer and the Fleischers and their staff had to stretch their muscles, if you will, was when they made Gulliver's Travel. And for that, they used the device that they had invented, the rotoscope, to trace live-action movement, human live-action movement for certain scenes. But nothing they did could prepare you for the astonishing results they got when they tackled Superman. They not only replicated the look and feel of the comic strip, the comic books and the comic strip, but the staging, the look and feel of those cartoons is exceptional. That first episode, which is my favorite, I show some frequency, and I just think it's a knockout.
How did the students react to that?
They like it.
They do.
I mean, some of it seems very simplistic to them,
right? And
you can't expect them to respond unless you frame it in the context of the time, and just how advanced it was.
Yeah.
Visually and mostly visually,
Always impressed by Bud Collyer, the way he was able to take his voice, his Clark Kent to his Superman was like always amazing.
I met Bud Collyer's nephew.
Okay.
Bud Collyer was married. Bud Collyer's sister June Collyer was kind of a starlet, ingenue, let's say, an ingenue in the late 20s, early 30s, and she married Stuart Irwin. And I met Stuart Irwin Jr., who later became a producer,
right? A
TV producer out here. And the one thing I wanted to ask him was about his Uncle Bud, who I grew up watching as the host of To Tell the Truth on TV. And I said, did he ever do, the voice for you? And he said, oh, yes. Because Bud lived in New York and the Irwins lived here in L.A., but they would see him like once a year. He'd come out for a visit or something, and he would do that voice drop. This looks like a job for Superman.
Right. So amazing. I loved it. It just, because it really did transform. You know what I mean? He did. He transformed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Last thing is just a general question about the character of Superman. I guess back then, especially with those Fleischer cartoons and the character in general, which, to varying degrees of success still goes today. What is the appeal of that? Why do you think people connect with Superman so much?
Well, I don't know.
All right, then.
Again, I suppose the wish fulfillment is the obvious thought here. Wouldn't it be exciting to have X-ray vision, to have super strength, to be impervious to injury? It's a fly. Start with that.
Yeah.
What kid hasn't dreamt of flying? I think it speaks to very fundamental desires for the young and the young at heart.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon in another installment of Voices from Krypton.